I turned off the other phone and I'm just starting the second video. And I'm going to look for your questions, you guys. Oh, I know what I have to do. I have to go like this. There we go. I don't touch any devices for an hour after I wake up. Okay, so Plowmaster, here's the question for you. Because just because you don't touch any device, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a 1. If you don't touch them because you're afraid of something, that's a 0. See what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. I didn't used to microwave because I thought microwaving kills and all that stuff. But it's us who we give meaning to things. We give meaning to everything in our life. So me microwaving something, and every now and then I would do it, but then I would go, oh man, that's not good. I shouldn't do that. So what happened? That fear was hurting me more than what the microwaving was doing to me. So you have to be it's almost like using a dial or on a radio dial, on an analog radio. Have you ever, any of you had an analog radio? I come from Romania. We lived in the communist era and we used to have 2 shows on radio. It was one of them was called Voice of America and the other one was called Free Europe. So every now and then, communism is a bitch. I do not wish it on anyone. And please, 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 if any of you believe that communism is the way to go, wake up. It's not. So what we used to do, my mother and I, we would lay down on the floor in our living room because it was the only room that didn't have a neighbor. Like that wall was not connected to another neighbor. And we would lay down on the ground in the living room. We would turn this analog radio on and we would just gently, 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 we'd tune in the dial to get to these stations because they were so very hard to catch. I don't know the term exactly, like when they were like all you could hear, and eventually we would just hear, but not very well. This is how you have to do with figuring out what's a yes and what's a no, what's a 1 and what's a 0. Thank you, Talia. I adore you too. Tuning. Now, but there's a term when there's the brouillage. We call it brouillage in static. Static. That's it. Static. How can I reach those memories? Al-Kabula, how do you reach your memories? Whenever you get triggered by something, you put yourself in a meditative state. You sit down. You sit in meditation. You don't have to cross your legs if you don't want to. You can just sit down in peace and quiet and talk to yourself and say to yourself, how am I feeling? I'm feeling like I'm not being seen. You got triggered by somebody who maybe mistreated you and outside at work or something. I'm not being seen. They disrespected me. Okay, when was the first time you ever felt this way? That's the question you ask yourself. When was the first time you ever felt this way? And then wait, sit and wait. You might not get the answer on the spot because you have to train your muscle, but it will come to you. And it might not come that day. It may come the next day, but give it time. Give it time. Thank you, Meows. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what I do. Thank you for what you guys do. You guys are just, my heart sings when I see you guys wanting to do this. Because we're all awakening, you guys. We're all awakening. We're all part of this soul revolution. We are changing the world one awakened being at a time. 144,000. Do you know that you gave me the guidance to, and I sat in meditation with God and I received the entire information of what 144,000 means? Friendship necklace. Oh, thank you. Thank you. 144. I can talk about it. I can talk about it, sure. I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but shoot, I don't know if I have, let me see if in this book. Okay, so let me give you I'll just give you a little bit of an idea of what the 144,000 is. Ink, thank you for reading my book. Yay. If you have questions, you can reach out directly. You guys can reach out directly. I answer to people constantly, direct messages. So this book right here is really powerful. It's a very old book. It's written in the 20s. It's very hard to find too. And then, well, it says here 1961, but no, it's 1927 actually. 1961 is the edition. Okay, so I was looking, I took the picture from the internet, but okay, so our chakras are like little flowers, right? So the petals, each one of the chakra has a certain number of petals. Okay, let me get a, all right. So we're good with this. We learned the Arcturian healing. Give me thumbs up if you guys learned Arcturian healing. Okay, here I come. I'm bringing the whiteboard. Okay. I have to see if I can find my notes on, yep, that's it. One of the reasons why I'm slow on doing this video with 144,000 is because I have to draw the flowers. So this time I'm not going to draw them perfectly. So I need to draw 7. 1. Whoops. This one doesn't work very well. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we all know. Let me know if anybody knows, if you guys know, if you're familiar with the fact that each one of the chakras, the symbol for each chakra is a flower. Thank you. Thank you. So the symbol for each chakra is a flower. My two phones are butting in here. Let me push my ottoman. Okay, perfect. All right. So each chakra from the root to the crown, the symbol of each chakra, and actually I showed you in that video that I did a few days ago. I'll just show you some pictures from this book of how people who visualize these, this is what they see. And this is people from that mystics. This is the crown chakra. So this is the image of a crown chakra. The crown chakra has, this book is called The Chakras. Here, let me show you the inside picture, inside image, so you can see. The author is Ledbetter, or Leadbeater, whatever you want to call him. This is the crown chakra, and it is considered to be a flower with 1,000 petals. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to pretend that I'm drawing 7 chakras, and I'm going to make 1,000 petals. I'm not drawing 1,000, but I'm just going to kind of make them look like 1,000. And there's a math thing that we're going to involve in. So we're going to do the math on it. So I'm going to do 1,000. I'm going to make it look similar. This is what my 1,000 petals chakra looks like. So this is the crown chakra. Okay. I'm going to show you from this book a few more images. There's a couple more in here, the same kinds. Okay, this one right here is the root chakra. Now the root, that's cool. I like it. One at the top, one at the bottom. The root chakra is a flower with 4 petals. So now I'm going to do 4 petals here. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let me see what else I have in the book. Okay. This is the throat chakra. The throat chakra has 16 petals. Okay? So that's 1,000. 16 petals. I'm not going to draw 16 because I don't really want to mess with it. That's why I told you that the reason why I can't, I'm slow on it, because I actually have to draw this to make it look pretty. And let me see, should I show you one more? No, they don't have all of them. That's the, and that's it. Okay, that's good enough. That's all I need to show you from here. So I drew right now the root chakra, the throat chakra, and the crown chakra. And while you guys talk amongst each other and discuss post-impressionism, I'm gonna write all these other chakras in here real quick, only because I want to have them drawn here, because we have to do the math. So the root chakra has 4 petals. You can write things down. The root chakra has 4 petals. The hara, the sacral chakra, has 6 petals. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The plexus chakra has 10 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whatever. It may not be. So I'm just going to write next to it. 4, 6, 10. And then the heart chakra, 12 petals. Okay. Again, it doesn't look nice, but you get the idea. So this is how our chakra system looks like. Okay. When you add, so now this here is the crown, and this here is the pineal gland. Let me do this. I have to do one thing, because this is something that came to me after I did that video where I told you guys that I'm going to talk about the 144. This information that I'm telling you right now came to me the night after. I spent an entire night in meditation. It was absolutely freaking surreal, but God showed me exactly what happened. So this right here is, if you guys know how the cerebral spinal fluid descends from the cerebellum down to the root chakra, and then it returns through the 2 nerves called the Ida and the Pingala. So I'm just kind of going to go like this. The Ida and the Pingala, these are the 2 nerves. I might not have the correct number of twists and turns, but that's irrelevant. I'm just doing it to make it look good. Here at the base of the skull, it's the last intersection of the 2 nerves, the Ida and the Pingala. I'm just kind of do it like this so you can see the X. And the reason why I'm showing you the X is because in Christianity talks about crucifixion as if it is the death of Jesus Christ. Jesus talks about carrying your own cross. This is your cross that you have to carry. What does it mean that you have to carry that cross? That means you have to allow the cerebral spinal fluid to go down from the cerebellum. I probably went a little too high, but that's okay. Through and I'm going to go back here to draw the pineal gland. The pineal gland, the pineal, the third eye chakra has only 2 petals. The crown chakra has 1,000. The third eye chakra has 2. The throat has 16. The heart has 12. The plexus has 10. The sacral has 6, and the root has 4 petals. Now, these are also hertz frequencies. Okay? Stay with me. Are you guys with me? Noapte bună, Cătă. Brandon, thank you. There may be... Yes. Okay, good. You're all with me. Perfect. Awesome. Are we good with it? Like, you want me to tell you about this? So interesting, Brenda. Thank you. Okay, good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So now here's what happens. Now, this is a combination between sacred secretion, which is the descent of the cerebral spinal fluid from the cerebellum all the way down to the... thank you, Kata. All the way down to the root chakra, and then returning, picking up from the plexus, from the solar plexus, picks up the what? The sacred secretion, which is the Christ oil that exists in each and every one of us, one time every 28.5 days for 2.5 days, related to your zodiacal sign. I'm not going into detail. Oh, I'm just having... Whew, whew. Wow, that was surreal. My ears just... Whew. Okay. Wow. I know what's happening. I'm giving this to you guys. I'm giving 144,000, 3 days full of energy and no food. I fasted 31 days last year. Water fast. I'm telling you guys, this is what we all have to work on. Okay, so let me calm down, shake myself off like a dog, and go back to this. So what is happening here is this. The cerebral spinal fluid picks up the Christ oil from the plexus, lifts it up all the way to the pineal gland. What does it say in the Bible? When thy eye be single, thy body should be filled with light. What did Jacob do when he climbed up the 33 steps ladder? He met God face to face, and his life was preserved. What does it mean? That means he awakened his Christ consciousness. What does it mean his life was preserved? His life was preserved. In other words, he realized his eternity. In other words, he realized that he and his Father are one, and he's an eternal being, not just a limited human being, okay? How do we get there? That's the question. Why did I mark the X in here? This is every single one of us is cross. The last cross in Greek, to crucify, means to multiply. Write that down, because this is the most major piece of information that nobody in church tells you. To crucify means to multiply. So now let's go back to the 144,000 people. There's no such thing. Why do they tell you, by the way, that there's 144,000 people? Because if you know that I thought, well, I'll never make it. Well, I mean, like 8 billion people, how do I make it out of the 144,000? So, it's very easy to give up. It's very easy to give fear, right, Daryl? Yeah. You give up because how can you possibly make it when there's 8 billion people, right, Daryl? Yes, control, absolutely. So by us believing that 145,000 is a number of people, then we give up trying to become our highest versions of ourselves. We give up trying to raise our Christ consciousness. but not us, because we know the truth. And the truth is that if you add 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12 plus 16, so in other words, the frequency of each one of these chakras, in other words, you heal every one of these chakras, because if you don't heal them, this energy doesn't go up. Okay? If you don't heal your traumas, if you don't heal your fears, if you don't heal your limiting beliefs, it can't go through. Okay? There's only one way it can go through, but I don't recommend it. And I'll tell you about it later on. So you're looking at 48 in here. 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12 plus 16 equals 48 hertz. Oops. All right. Now, and this is where we arrived to the 8th chakra. I'm going to keep the chakras the way they want, the 7th. But there's an 8th one and there's a 9th one. The 8th one is right here at the base of the skull, where the two nerves that are called Ida and Pingala. The two nerves, their final crossing is right here. When this cerebral spinal fluid, together with the Christ oil, cross this intersection, gets the cerebral spinal fluid, the Christ oil gets crucified, means multiplied. That's right, Plowmaster. It gets multiplied. The intensity, the strength, the power of this frequency activates the pineal gland. And what happens is you have the pineal, and your third eye opens, and when your third eye opens, your body's filled with light. When thy eye be single, thy body should be filled with light. This is the meaning. It's written in the Bible, right? So now what happens with the 48 hertz? Going through the multiplication times 2 here, right? Because this frequency gets multiplied twice and it turns into 96 hertz. So the pineal gland frequency of this chakra is 96 hertz, right? Watch this. 96 plus 48 is 144 hertz. But the crown chakra has 1,000 petals. And that same frequency this time gets multiplied by 1,000, which means we have 144,000 hertz, which is the frequency of Christ consciousness. And this is where we're all fucking going, guys. What do you guys think? So now what God showed me that night is that this is a chakra. This is a chakra right here. It's the 8th chakra. And the 9th chakra is above the crown. And that is the rainbow body. And that is, there's a lot of monks, like Buddhists and, all kinds of Zen monks and stuff like that. They're actually, you've heard about rainbow body, where you literally sit in a meditation and you volatilize. I don't know if it's the right term. You disappear. You vanish. What do you guys think of this? Let me know. So, are you ready to reach your 144,000 hertz frequency? Because now we know we can do it. Hand of God chakra above crown. That's right. Hand of God chakra above the crown. That's right. That's right. I'm recording it actually on my other phone, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. Oops. Let me move these phones a little bit because they're crammed in a little. Yikes. I dropped the other phone. Okay. Okay. All right, that's better. All right. Sip. I'm not going to repeat it, Rami, but I am going to make a video about it, because this was off the cuff. This was just me. And I was saying earlier that one of the reasons why I haven't done the video yet is because I want to draw these things in a more, I want to make them look a little better. I'm going to put this whole live on YouTube. It may be more than like I already recorded 1 hour, and that's going to go straight. And then once we reach an hour on this one, I'm going to put it on YouTube as well. I had an experience where I felt like a rock rolled up my spine to back of my head, connected. Yes, absolutely. That's your Christ oil going up. Now, okay, so what I wanted to tell you is this. I actually had this experience already when I did 5-MeO DMT in 2021, in April of 2021. The Christ oil is a secretion that our body creates. So this two, I brought the book. You must read this book. You guys have to read this book. You can buy it. And by the way, on my TikTok channel, I put a video with the 5 books that I recommend. You can find me on YouTube by going on my bio, or just look for me on YouTube with my name. You'll find me there. But in my bio, there is a link to my YouTube channel. This book right here, you don't have to write it down, but it is in my profile. There's a video where I put the screenshots of 5 books. You will buy them on Amazon if you want, but you can also listen to them for free on YouTube. This guy right here wrote this book in the 1920s, I want to say. Very early on, 1920. Okay, so he's a doctor. He was a doctor. And he explains to you the way he interprets the Bible, the way I interpret the Bible, which is metaphorical. In other words, it's like a code. It's like you're deciphering a code. You know, like you've all watched the movie and you read the books, Angels versus Demons and Dan Brown, right? That is the way Dan Brown was figuring things out code. You know, in fact, that's a great reminder to read those books again, because he was actually decoding some things in there that may help us on our journey. Novels, but some of these people are disclosing things that they cannot say it to us face to face. This is how the Bible is written, you guys. The reason why the Bible is written in parables. Jesus said it himself, I only speak in parables. Why? Because if he actually spoke straight up, told people the truth, which he did anyways, what happens? He got killed. That's why he got killed. He didn't get killed for your sins. You don't have any sins. That's the biggest bullshit ever. I better tone it down because this TikTok didn't like that last time. Anyways, what I'm saying is that Jesus spoke only in parables, and these other books that are part of the Bible are the same exact way, because they could not say it to us the way I say it to you right now. The Christ oil is the land of the milk and honey. The Christ oil, no, the land of the milk and honey is your skull, is your head, because the cerebral spinal fluid comes from the cerebellum. It's a juice, it's a fluid that splits into 2. Part of it goes through, half of it goes through the pineal gland, the other half goes through the pituitary gland. One is feminine, one is masculine. As it goes through these 2 glands, changes consistency. One becomes milk-like consistency, and the other one becomes honey-like consistency. So the land of milk and honey is like right here. This is your heaven, because this is where everything happens, you guys. This is where everything happens. So the cerebral spinal fluid, one is masculine, one is feminine, one is Mary, one is Jacob, Jesus's father. They go down they cross onto the 2 nerves around the spinal cord. The 2 nerves are called the Ida and the Pingala, right? When they arrive in the plexus chakra, they deposit, their intersection creates a little secretion, a little oil. There is a little cavity inside of our plexus chakra. This oil goes inside that cavity, and it only happens one time for 2.5 days, every 28.5 days, and you can find those days by matching them with your zodiacal signs. There's a website you can go to and find out exactly when, according to your zodiacal sign, exactly when you create this. Every one of us creates this oil only one time for 2.5 days and every 28.5 days. So now if during that time you fast and you do godly things, in other words, you come from a place of love, you don't, you know what you need to do, and you man specifically, you spare your seed. That is very, very important. Depending on your zodiacal sign, Stephanie, depending on, it's called moon, I want to say moontracker.com, where you can find out whenever the moon was in your zodiacal sign on your date of birth, on your birth. So you can find out. And in here it tells you exactly how to find it. There's also a few other things that you have to look into, because of your date of birth, each month, each zodiacal sign has assigned a salt, a mineral, a salt. I'm calling it minerals so you understand what I'm saying, because with my accent sometimes I confuse people. So there's a salt that is associated with each zodiacal sign, and because we are in our mother's womb for 9 months, we have plenty of 9 of the salts, but we lack 3 of them. And in here it tells you exactly which salts you're missing based on yours when you were born, so you can replenish them. And how do you replenish them? Well, you can take supplements, or you can focus on some certain foods. God man, not good man, God man. So you can eat certain foods that will replenish those. So that will help you too. So if during those 2.5, 3, I like to do it for 5-6 days, because I like to do a couple of days before and a couple of days later. So you meditate, you spend time in solitude, you do the wonderful things that you're supposed to do in life. You have a wonderful chance to reach that frequency and activate your pineal gland and open your third eye. I'm ready for questions. The name of the book: God, Man. The word as in the beginning was the word made flesh. Am I putting it in the right place? Can you see it, guys? Show me a thumbs up. Perfect. Yeah, the face of the moon on my day. Yes, moon tracker, right? It's moon tracker. Perfect. All right, good. You're seeing it in reverse? Do you want me to chew it for you? Just kidding. Okay, so here's what you do. Don't worry about it. Just go into my profile. There's a video that I posted a few days ago, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. It's just some screenshots of 5 books that I want you to read. They're very important. Other ways to activate your pineal gland: prayer, meditation, eating the right foods, doing the work of God. But we're not talking about just activation of the pineal gland. We're talking about opening our third eye here, which will activate your 144,000 hertz frequency. Did you laugh at my joke, Carmation? Can the oil travel up and get blocked, causing... No, the oil cannot travel if your chakras are blocked. That's what I was going to say. Oh, what I wanted to tell you is this. I had this is called Kundalini awakening, right? So if you have this Kundalini awakening it can happen if you have any psychedelic ceremonies, psychedelic journeys. It can happen if you have them very intense, which it's what I had, right? That's right, Mrs. Sue. That's exactly what it means. I just did an entire presentation. If you missed it, don't worry, because I'm going to post the video on YouTube. But I just did an entire presentation on how the frequency climbs up, and because of how many petals are on each chakra, we end up at the crown chakra with 144 hertz. But it only happens as we activate our pineal gland and open our third eye. I don't remember most of my younger stuff. Okay, what does it feel like physically? It's pure bliss. It's like you are one with God. Like, I have a video actually. I probably should edit it a little bit. There's a video that I recorded. You can't see my face. Like I knew I was God. I stood up in the middle of this 5-MeO DMT journey, and I was like, oh, we are God. We are God. I met my higher consciousness who told me, be still and know I am God, and so are you, and so is everybody else. But here's what happens. The reason why I don't quite recommend it, although if you're tough cookie like I am, it's fine. You can do it. Because I went into a psychosis. I was in a psychosis for 2 months. Here's why. I was in such bliss to find out this truth. But I wasn't completely healed yet. So I didn't understand the whole thing. I didn't understand what does it mean to be God. And I did not have God in my life. I did not believe in God. I never believed in anything in my entire life. So because I didn't, and I walked away from church when I was 14 years old because I did not want to be part of an organization that is trying to convince me that the same God who quote loves me, I'm also supposed to fear him, right? Does God have tension? Doesn't have any tension. God has nothing but love and bliss and joy. So what I'm saying is I went into a psychosis because I was in shock. I read a lot of books during that time because I needed to understand from other people what the meaning of this whole thing. And then it finally clicked. And then I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make peace with Jesus because he's the only one I can think of in the human world that people say that he is God. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read everything he ever taught. And that's how I became a big, some people follow Jesus. I've been stalking him for the past 4 years. So it's fine. You can still do it that way. But now here's what happened to me. Because I've been there one time. I knew where I'm going. So then everything that I did, all my healing, I had so much drive to do it. Because I knew that it's possible. I knew that I can feel those feelings again. I have not done a psychedelic journey since July of 2023 because I want to get there by myself. And I got it. I made it. I'm there. I spent my entire year last year doing the sacred secretion, you guys. He's been stalking me too. He has been, for God's sakes. Ali D, laughing my ass. Oh, yes, me too. I'm telling you, look, it's so beautiful. All right, questions, you guys. Let's see. If I missed your questions from before, I know I'm jumping. Ask them again. Research Kundalini awakening symptoms. Yes, so beautiful. That makes sense. Healing. This is what happened to me. I went into bliss, one with God. And okay, yes. Now here's the problem. And you know Ram Dass, right? He did LSD. And one of his biggest problems is that he complained that I go there, it's like going into and I'm in the Garden of Eden and all that, and then I get kicked off Garden of Eden. And all he wanted was, how do I stay there? See, because he needed to reach that level without the help of a catalyst. All these plants are nothing but catalysts, you know. Okay, so LSD is a man-made product. I haven't done man-made. I've done ketamine one time, but most of the stuff that I've done over 40 journeys with ayahuasca, with mushrooms, with San Pedro cactus, and with 5-MeO DMT. They're all plant-based. They're all natural. So I just realized that he's been calling me. Yep, he's calling you all the time. Tell me more about the meditation you made. The meditation that I made for the Arcturian healing, or what meditation? I did it naturally. Jim Carrey says that often too. I'm fixated on always trying to get back there. That's right. And that's why, because if you get there, through a catalyst. In other words, through a plant. You can't stay there because eventually it wears off. You can stay there for a month or so, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know, the effect of the medicine stays with you. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to get there and stay there. And that's where I am right now. I'm there constantly, all the time. I'm a nutcase. I'm like freaking happy all the time. And I've been this way for like 3 months. Sacred Secretion is read this book. Yes, the book list is on my profile. There is a little video that I made. You can just watch it, and all the books, there's 5 books that I put it on there. How long do you meditate for? My minimum meditation now, regular on a daily basis, is 50 minutes. Like I can't come out of it in less than 50 minutes. Like I just sit and I automatically come out in 50 minutes. But if I have something that I'm dealing with, that I'm working on, like whenever I have a deep question that I ask God, I can spend 2-3 hours in a meditation. And the longest, a few nights ago, I spent the entire night in meditation. I was sitting or I was laying, but I did not sleep. The entire night I didn't sleep. I was in constant streaming. I was constantly streaming information with God. That's wonderful, Elizabeth. That's really wonderful. If the third eye is open, I see a lot of vivid images in meditative state. So one of the signs that your third eye is open is because the third eye doesn't look out. The third eye looks in. Your third eye is open when you know experientially who you are. You see yourself as God. If you just see images, you know what that is? That is your DMT. And by the way, that's what I had a few nights ago. My body produced DMT. I was as if I was in a DMT journey. My pineal, because the pineal gland produces DMT. And that's when I was in communication with God the entire night. I want to get there. Yes, we're all getting there. Yes, intellectual state, that means you are in the left side of the brain. You need to get into the right side of the brain. You need to use your imagination. Go play, sit with your inner child and ask your inner child, what do you want to play with? Like, go and do the things that you used to do when you were a child. What is my first step to take you in a journey to open my Kundalini? Okay, the first thing you have to do is to heal your chakra. Oh, there is a book. I worked on that book last year. I spent 7 days, every single day, for every single chakra. It's called, you can find it on Amazon. Let me write down so I can make another video for you guys. Because if somebody misses it, then I should give you guys. It's very important. You have to heal. Now, here's what I'm saying. You may think I'm jumping from one thing to another. Let's see. Chakra healing. There's a book called Chakra Healing, but it's chakra healing with shadow work. Because shadow work means you sit and write, journal. Now, see these notebooks in here? I need you to go to the store or go online and buy yourself 20 of these notebooks. I am right now on, well, this is 11, but I actually have 3 others that I worked on in addition to these. This, like in a year, I literally fill one of these up, one a month, because I journal constantly journal. So when you heal your chakra, and by the way, on the videos that we're doing for the Hermetic uINversity, on every one of these principles, I give you shadow work prompts. Work them, because all of these, the shadow work that you're doing, right, it heals your childhood traumas. What are your chakras blocked by? They're blocked by your childhood traumas. They're blocked by your fears, they're blocked by your limiting beliefs. So every shadow work journaling that you're doing is very helpful. In order to unblock your chakras, you must do shadow work. The name of the book. Yes, I will. Who's the author of this chakra book?